Hi, for this video what we're going to do is we're going to solve a linear inequality. For this we're looking for all values of x that make this inequality true. So we're looking for all values that I can plug in for x that will give us results that are less than 106. I know that a lot of people struggle with the signs. Remember that less than always points to the left. Think those are, if you just think about it like an arrowhead, it makes it a lot easier. On a number line, all of the values that are getting less than something are always to the left of that value, so it just shows you which way it's going. So with this, you treat it very similarly to how you would solve an equation. So your first step would be to distribute in anything that's on the outside of the parentheses. So our goal is to just get x by itself. Instead of distributing, you could have also divided both sides by 2. That would give you the same result. So a lot of times there is more than one way, but since I already started, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this way. So I have 16x plus 10 is less than 106. X is not completely alone yet, so what we would do is we would move the 10 to the opposite side by subtracting. So we have 16x is less than 96, and then we would divide both sides by 16. And this ends up giving us 6, so it's saying that x is all numbers that are less than 6. As far as checking this goes, the best way to check is just to pick a value that is in this solution set. With this, if we were to draw a number line out, we would start with 0. If you want to put all the tick marks, you can. I'm just going to put out to 6 and say that this is my starting point. When I draw my graphs, I tend to draw it above, and the reason is because most of the time my students were working with pencil, and if you use the same color, like if I were to use a different color, you could see it easily. But this is my number line, and so my answer, my solution set is all numbers that are less than 6. It does not include 6, but it includes everything up close to it, like 5.999. And then as long as your variable is first, this points the arrow of your solution set. So x is all values that are less than 6. So what we want to do is pick some value that is less than 6, say 0, and plug it into here to see if that works. So if I plugged in 0, I would have 0 plus 5 is 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 is definitely less than 106. If we were to pick 6 itself, it should give us exactly 106. It does not include it because it does not have the equal to underneath it. So for most cases, this is an acceptable answer. If you are in a course that requires you to write it in set notation, you would just write this as the set of all numbers x, such that x is less than 6. And if you are in a class that is dealing with, so this is set notation, and if you are dealing with a class where you have to write it in interval notation, this would be all values starting from negative infinity up until 6, and then we use a soft parenthesis because it does not include it. Remember, you use a bracket if it includes it and a parenthesis if it does not include it. So this would be our solution in interval notation. I include both just because depending upon the course that you're in, there's different expectations. Some expectations are to write it in interval notation, some are to write it in set notation. Some of them you don't have to use a specific notation and you can just use x is less than 6. As always, thanks for watching. Please continue to check out all of my other content. If there are any topics that you need help with, just please make sure that you let me know.